Good morning. This is The Magic of Max Gail, Life's Dream, number 44. Corky is in here practicing something new for you all. Let's come in.
The highways old refrain. The night can last for. Oh, hi guys. I'm practicing this tune I wrote with James Lee Stanley called Midnight Radio. You know, it's sort of interesting, doing these live streams and sheltering in place. It's like we're really forced to be creative. So fortunately, I'm a songwriter. I got, 150 things I wrote. And so, we can't do cover tunes because, if we do, I'll explain this. I think everyone should know this. If we do an album, it's an audio recording, and I do some blues tunes on that album. I just go to a little place on the internet, and I get a license for using that song. That way I could assure that the people that wrote the song will get paid by me for using the song. And it's a minimal amount, it's not a big deal. But if you do a video of the song, it could be $5,000. I did this tune with Chamber Blues called the Italian Shuffle. And I had Sam Lay sing on it. And I said, Sam, you could sing whatever you want. I wasn't thinking. So he sang Flip, Flop, and Fly. And we made this beautiful, it's the best video I have ever made. Okay? With chamber blues playing, a shuffle, the Italian Shuffle, and Sam Lay singing Flip, Flop, and Fly. I wasn't thinking. So when I called Warner Chappell to find out how much it's going to cost me, because I want to make sure, the artist should get paid special for the video I made using his song, even though the song was like implanted sort of in the middle of more of a larger composition. So I called Warner Chappell. They said $5,000. And I says, yeah, but I'm not a corporation. I said, and I'm just going to put it up on YouTube, and if we could just pay you guys for the amount of hits we get, or at least base the fee on the amount of hits I get, we'd be talking about $500. And for this video, I'm happy to come up with $500. They said, no, $5,000. I said, I'm not a corporation. I finally talked them down to $2,500. And obviously, that was way too much. So what's amazing about this, when I started doing these live streams, I realized I should be, giving tribute to my blues masters. So I did, a few Jimmy Reed songs and a couple Willie Dixon songs, and all of a sudden I realized this isn't a live performance, because at a live performance you don't have to pay anything. The theater pays the publishing companies a flat fee for the whole year. All of a sudden I realized I'm making a video, a live stream on YouTube, a live stream on Facebook. They're videos. I can't do these songs. I can't pay $5,000 for a song. So anyway, so we're forced to be songwriters if we're doing cover tunes, and I'm forced to go back and learn my old tunes or write some new ones, and that's where we're at. It's a beautiful thing. They want us to be creative. Here we go. So here's this Midnight Radio. I'm going to read the words to you so you don't miss those. Late night station turned on. Tires in the rain. The eagles ride beside me to that highway's old refrain. The night can last forever, as fast as you can go, listening to the Midnight Radio. All night cafe coffee. Pour yourself a cup. Not a soul is in the place. You're the only one who's up. Tired and lonely, with hours more to go for company, that Midnight Radio. In bed, but just not sleepy, in love, but all alone. Too tired to write a letter, too late to use the phone. Smile and turn the dial to a station that you know, Salvation in the Midnight Radio. Okay. So I was practicing it. Let's see. Late night station turner, tires in the rain. The eagles ride beside me to that highway's old refrain. The night can last forever, as fast as you can go. Listening to that midnight radio. Listening to that midnight radio. All night cafe coffee, pour yourself a cup. Not a soul is in the place. You're the only one who's up. Tired and lonely, with hours more to go. For company, that midnight radio. Listening to that midnight radio. In bed but just not sleeping, in love but all alone, too tired to write a letter, too late to use the phone. Smile and turn the dial to a station that you know, Salvation on that midnight radio. Salvation on that midnight radio. Hey, you missed the beat. Man. Can't pay these people enough. I think it's story time.
You're paying them scale?
Yes. I think this is story time. But Holly's going to introduce the interview that we did.
Right.
Right, honey?
Yep, that's right. I'll come to the storybook couch. So, Max Gail.
I want to make sure they hear everything you say, so let me sit next to you.
You can sit right here.
And say Max Gail again.
Max Gail has starred on stage, television, and film. He was Detective Stan Wojo. Let me see if I can get this right. Wojciechowicz.
I could say
On
it.
the popular sitcom Barney Miller for nearly 10 years.
It's Wojciechowicz.
Earning him 2 Primetime Emmys for Outstanding Actor in a Comedy Series. He also directed several of the episodes. He also directed several of the episodes. Max recently won an Emmy for Best Supporting Actor only just last year on the soap opera General Hospital. And it's the longest running soap in production since 1963 in history. It's in the Guinness Book of World Records. So the role Max was asked to play was an ailing Mike Corbin, who is the father of the lead character of General Hospital. And he was asked to do this role for just 3 months. However, Max was so compelling. The role lasted from 2018 to now, we don't know, sometime in 2020. Countless famed actors, such as Elizabeth Taylor and James Franco, have appeared on the show with fans worldwide. And even Princess Diana was an avid fan of General Hospital, and she often sent champagne to the cast and crew. Max was also featured in major motion pictures like DC Cab and the film 42, which of course is the Jackie Robinson story. And that was with Harrison Ford. And he's also starred in countless popular television shows such as Hawaii Five-0, Dr. Quinn, Psych, NCIS, and one of my favorites, Mad Men. Max has long been a champion of Native Americans and was part of the historic longest walk, which was 3,600 miles. It was quite grueling. He wanted to bring, he and the Native peoples wanted to bring international attention to the plight of the Native Americans and their rights. Marlon Brando, Senator Ted Kennedy, Muhammad Ali, and many other high-profile persons rallied in the support of Native peoples. Although Max was the only one to actually have joined them to do this 306-mile walk. Of course. Max is a dear friend and wise friend, a very deep thinker. He's kind, he's generous, he's a poet who has a connectivity and a symbiotic relationship with nature and humanity. It's our joy to present Max Gail, who we met about 25 years ago through a friend, Robin Cook.
Thank you, Robin.
Let's...
Robin Cook is the organizational development guy.
Let's take a look at Max.
Okay, here, Holly. You do it. I'll run the computer. Okay, let me get rid of this. Are you ready, everyone? Max Gail. Here we go.
A lot of times when I've experienced people saying, I know who you are, I found myself saying, no, you just know where you've seen me. Sometimes no one knows who I am, Anyway, the whole idea of who is anybody.
So where are you?
Oh, where am I? Okay. So I am sitting in my van in the sort of garden yard of my daughter-in-law and son, although my son is in Thailand. Okay, I am in my van, which I sometimes call my vansion. I've always been comfortable in the van since I had my first van 40 years ago. Even when I had a house and lots of guys, there's always a part of me that's kind of had my van with some tools and some living stuff and everything.
When we did this Zoom with David Amram, we showed a photograph with Muhammad Ali and Buffy St. Marie, Stevie Wonder, all those people, and you were in the photo with David Amram.
Yes, it was the end of the longest walk, which was a walk across the country to try to, draw attention to certain things that we're trying to get pushed through Congress. The Let's Be Good to Indians Act, which, anyway, and Ali, Steve, all those people were there, and there had been a concert, and Ali boxed a few rounds and stuff, and I remember getting back to the hotel, and Buffy St. Marie and my girlfriend at the time, Kaylee, who was really the one who introduced me to Buffy and how I met all of that, connected in with, the spiritual and the political and the economic and, all of that, was part of that journey. But at this time, they came up, they said, we don't have a picture of everybody together. We got everybody here. Marlon won't come down. We've talked to him, but we're all waiting for him. So kind of like, what are you going to do? So I said, well, what room is he in? And I went up and I banged on the door really hard, And I said, what? I said, Marlon, everybody's waiting for you downstairs. Like a 12-year-old. That's just what, so, okay, all right, I'll be down. So I went down and said, he's coming, and then he walks in and he says, holy shit, who was that? And I didn't, in my mind, since I've had times where I said, yeah, that was me, sorry, man, or something like that. But anyway, so then they went through this amazing kind of group shyness with all these people, who was going to stand where around the piano to get this picture. And finally, Buffy says, okay, Ali, you sit here, or Stevie, or what, boom, boom, put everybody in their place, and they got all set, and they're just about to take a picture, and Buffy looks around, she says, wait a minute, Max, you should be in here. You're the only one that was really out there on the walk. Come on, get in here. So I came around, I got, in a little space sort of between Brando and whoever, and but I always felt about that time, that whatever I'm doing.
Here, let's stop the picture and say who's in it. I'll hold this.
Okay, so the longest walk, this picture is in the Smithsonian Institute at the American Indian Museum.
And David Amram gave us permission to use it, so we have
That's correct.
permission.
Yes, and so we have, of course, Muhammad Ali, Buffy St. Marie, Floyd Red Crow Westerman, Harold Smith, and of course that's Stevie Wonder, Marlon Brando, Max Gail, Dick Gregory. This person is unknown, and of course that's Richie Havens and our friend David Amram right here.
Which is interesting that we did a Zoom and shared it with you guys of David Amram and used this photo. And who knew that when we interviewed Max, he'd be in this photo too?
Yes.
Quite amazing.
So they wanted to bring national attention to Native Americans' rights, and 11 bills were presented in Congress. Not a single bill got passed, which is really very very sad. So
should we continue?
Continue.
Okay.
This is, this was the right, Dick Gregory was there, David, who I met through Floyd Westerman, it was, it was a time. So I like it when that picture shows up again. I was going to share with you that another thing that happened at that time, since you've sort of put it in, is that they had a press conference, and Ali spoke, and Buffy, and all kinds of people, and then I spoke, and I had been on the walk a lot, and at a certain point it ended, and then I got a call. Someone says the champ wants to see you. I said okay. He was sitting in a restaurant with Bundini Brown. You know who Bundini? Bundini Brown was kind of the sort of the poet voice, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. He was that advisor relationship with the champ, but he was a very flamboyant, wonderful guy. And when he got to the table and he says, "Would you rather?" He says, "Are you a movie star or a moving star?" I said, "Oh, I'm moving. I'm not in a movie." He says, "Would you rather? Are you your mother's son or your mother's friend?" I said, "Transitioning." He said something like that. He said, "Would you rather see God or feel God?" I said, "Yes." So then okay, sit down. I had lunch with him.
And that was Muhammad Ali or his advisor?
Yeah, that was Ali and Bundini. Right. Bundini, the questions you pose, you get me to thinking what God only knows. I wrote it. That was like half a lifetime ago.
So what are you up to? You got any projects?
Well, I'm still finishing up what's turned out to be a long, really wonderful ride working on General Hospital, the soap, which I always kind of maybe rolled my eyes at a little bit, or I really wasn't into it. I recognized that a lot of good people had been in soaps and stuff. It wasn't easy. But anyway, you guys know that I took on the part of the father of the lead guy who comes back into his life, and he's dealt with his gambling addiction by getting into a 12-step, but he's got Alzheimer's. And it's been an arc where now I'm really pretty much, I can't remember to swallow. It's pretty much about how does the family resolve and connect with someone, what their wishes are that can't communicate. And the writing's actually quite beautiful. And I find that, in a way, the most active, like really being focused moment to moment interior work is when I'm doing whatever I'm doing to find what my sense of that space when the mind darkens around you, and when what is there to trust, what is there to fear, where are the peaceful and wrathful deities, who's what, and everything that can for people sometimes come into all of a sudden a certain focus, even if they don't know who you are. They know they saw you yesterday, kind of thing, or that, and so I've got maybe 3 or 4 more of those shows. I'm not sure how many to play that out. And so what I'm looking to do is, the way I actually, when I was in Chicago, and the way I had led to meeting you guys and all, but I was there partly just because my kids were there. But one of the things, so that for me, there was the idea you could do like a TV show, a place-based kind of comedy or storytelling, engine place, that existed in TV land, and it also existed in the real world, because there could be LAPs, local access places, anywhere where there was the various things that could help that to happen, and it also existed online. So like Disney took the on land and the on air, and merged them. And some of the people, just the people that somebody started a fan page for me on Facebook. I've always been a little, the something in the word fan and fanatic has always been like, well, there's a bridge to cross or something, so anyway, that's what I'm looking to do next, You know, in terms of if a really good acting job shows up, I'll be drawn to do it. You know, were two notions, and one is in the beginning was the Word, and the other one was this thing of for all my relations. You probably know the Lakota kind of prayer, Matakwe Asen, for all my relations. It usually is translated. It could be we are all related. It's an expression of relationship that's in the language, which English is better at breaking things down and out, you know, sometimes than professor at MIT, William Isaacs, heads up what he called the dialogue project there, and his book was called Dialogue. And his definitions were the art of thinking together, or a conversation with a center rather than sides. And I thought, oh, okay, that's great. And it's the same insight, you know, it's the same. So anyway, having said that, it goes, Creator supplied us with spirit to guide us through things that divide us, to love light inside us. And the children playing, and the parents praying, and the old ones saying goodbye. In the beginning, they say, was the Word. In the heart song, let it be heard. Creator, creation of all my relations, your names are sensations of your emanations. We work, we play, we feel you, we pray. You show us a way we can live. Feed us today. Please don't lead us astray. Give us heed in the way we forgive. For beyond the kingdoms and powers and glories, you're the whole of the circle, the soul of the stories, the Father, the Mother, the One, and the Other of all that can live and can be. History holds us in patterns of pain. The mystery still sets us free. So humbly we thank you for all you have given, for loved ones who light up the lives we are living. And the children playing, the parents praying, the old ones saying goodbye, each true beginning, renewing the Word. And the heart song, let it be heard.
Wow, that's beautiful.
That's gorgeous.
Max.
Thank you so
Another
much.
one. Every one you ever recited, which you have recited many, 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 many ones.
That's
Everyone is more beautiful than the other. It's so deep and, you know, unbelievable.
Well,
Unbelievable.
Thank you.
I love sharing it.
I'd like to. Yeah. Okay. Well,
all right.
Okay.
Good to tell.
We miss you and we
should
love
we do
you.
our countdown?
Yeah.
We do a five countdown.
Love you, man.
5, 4, 3,
3,
2,
2,
1.
1.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
shore. We need kindness. There's no room for hate anymore. There's no shore. We're all in one boat. We sail and we sink. It don't matter what anybody thinks. There's no shore. We're all in one boat. We are the captains who can steer this boat towards sweet, gentle waters to keep us afloat. With all our goodness together and joyfully, we'll pour our loving hearts out for this democracy, 'cause we're all in the same boat. And there's no shore. We can't fool Mother Nature anymore. There's no shore. We're all in one boat. captains could steer this boat towards sweet, gentle waters. us afloat. With all our together and joyfully we'll pour our loving hearts out for this democracy, cause we're all in the same boat. And there's no shore. We can't fool Mother Nature anymore. Oh, there's no shore. We're all in one boat. We're all in one boat. We're all in one boat. Get out the vote. Get people to sign the census. It's time to get deeply involved. Thank you all. Stay safe. Take care. Cover your face. Stay at home. Caution is wisdom.